You've seen the most expensive mansion in Vail, Colorado at $78 million, also known as Alpenstrasse, but you haven't seen it like this. Now, popular opinion is expensive real estate is the embodiment of luxury and exquisite taste, but that's not always the case. If you are an architect or have a design background, this is for you. If you have a great eye for details, this is definitely for you. Now, let's take a closer look at this mansion, and I'll show you what most people don't see. I'll uncover what they got right and what was executed poorly. Now, this is a comprehensive look into the decisions made to create this house in Vail. I'll break down what they got right, from its jaw dropping and sophisticated design to its over the top details, and I'll call out with Mr. Mark. At the end, we'll determine if this is money wasted or money well spent based on the details, the architecture, the materials, and the build quality. We'll stay away from the like the furnishings and things like that, because they're kind of, you can move those from one house to the next. We're focusing on like the all the design choices, all the level of detail, the level of execution, things like that. Let's look at it.
There's an unspoken serenity about Vail. We're not here to stay up late and chase the party scene or necessarily people watch. You're here because you really desire to have that serenity, and you can really tap into that in a way that few places that I've seen around the world offer.
Now he's setting the stage for the level of the what type of architecture you would likely get in Vail. This isn't, even though it's expansive, like from an acreage, just a topographical layout perspective. Most of this is going to be built into. It's going to be some connection to mountains, so you are limited in what you can do. That some places you can expand outwardly. Some you go up, like depending on, like if you're in New York, for example, you build up. If you're like in Texas, you would go out, or some other place where you have a lot of land. But I think he's setting the stage that this is going to be a house that's probably not going to be typical to what you would see. You wouldn't see, this is not going to be sitting on top of a promontory like in LA or somewhere in that neighborhood. And there's not going to be a high rise in New York. So let's see what happens.
Vail, Colorado, one of the most iconic ski towns in the world. And in the heart of it sits something even more remarkable. Welcome to Alpenstrasse.
I just hit it. Now, I hadn't seen this video yet, but clearly you can kind of if you listen to the details and the nuance and the context, you'll be able to make out like where the direction is going. So this house is built into a mountainside. Not really sure what the curb appeal looks like yet, but this basically explains, why this house is not going to be expansive from a sprawl type of scenario. It's going to go up, and depending on the square footage, you might have different vantage points, different views. You're gonna have, I would bet that you probably have multiple living spaces on each floor, just because of, again, depending on the square footage, because this type of a buyer would likely not want just I'm just saying, just for example, like a kitchen on one level. Just because I can't really tell from here how big it is, but you generally $78 million, it probably has a lot of everything, likely redundant on different floors. So in other words, the same things on different floors.
A home that raises the bar for mountain luxury. With its exquisite interior spaces, amenities, and curated palette that features Loro Piana cashmere walls, this property is a statement of unparalleled craftsmanship.
I don't know where that is, but the wool paneling on the wall is a decent touch. I don't know if it makes a difference that it's lower piano. Now the thing is that I think it evokes like the coziness of a mountain residence. So that's a cool touch. He didn't give it any more. This is kind of more like an afterthought. But at $78 million, I think he needs to identify all these very specific, nuanced details because the person who's buying it's going to want to know those things.
Designed to bring generations together, it provides an experience that simply cannot be recreated. And
there's the other thing that I'm going to call out. The price tag likely reflects. Not now. We're not making any opinions about why a house is listed for a particular price point, but more so just about the things that add up to what the justification for the price is. Now we just saw how it was kind of it's on multiple levels. This likely represents, again, depending on square footage, represents something that you can't rebuild easily. Uh, Building a house in any place has a lot of hurdles you have to jump through, depending on the design, depending on the materials, depending on the location. So if it's priced this way, it's likely because it has something or does something or has, just kind of, specific details that you can't easily recreate. And that's generally why you have houses that are priced a certain way, because someone who's buying this is going to want something unique. They want a trophy. They want something that that regular people or the average person or even their peers, even if they wanted to with unlimited resources, can't do. And that's what this is. This is a reflection of what someone else can't do or it's difficult for someone to do. This is a trophy.
at $78 million, it raises the question, can a mountain home really be worth that much? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Oh, let's go back. Let's go back right there, just for a second. Look at that. Now, just my initial opinion. Now, this is, I don't know if I'm not really sure what the price point was before, like what this house, what was spent on the house, what it was purchased for before the previous owner. Some of that renovation cost should have went into revising this pool. I would have expected more linear to, kind of sort of match the house to make this pool look less haphazard and more, I guess, more elegant in its design. This looks like, I think this pool probably was an existing pool that they just maybe resurfaced the area around it, but this is not a good vantage point. I would not want to see this. If I'm spending $78 million, I do not want to see this view of the pool. At ground level, maybe it's a different feel. This is a poor choice not to have given this pool, the shape of the pool, some attention. I can tell you right away, these are I'm familiar with this type of kitchen. These panels, looking at the hardware, I bet you this is Baltop, which is a German brand. I see a lot of the German influence. This is Miele microwave or steam oven or something like that. And this is a Miele coffee system. This is a Gaggenau appliance oven. I'm sorry. There's some German influence there, I'm guessing that he wants to the buyer or the seller wants to convey with this aesthetic that there's precision. That's important in a house like this, precision, and usually the German products are generally sold as or presented as things that are of high precision, high engineering. This does not let me down. I actually like the use of this, especially with the house being in kind of like a rustic type of environment. I like to see the contrast on the inside of precision. You can even see, like the shapes. These are not organic shapes, but more, again, more defined shapes. This is what I would like, this sort of attention just in this area. I would have liked to, they have extended that to the pool. I mean, you have the linear the window openings. I'm not sure the type of window, but I bet you this is a German window. I can't. I'd have to do some jog my memory on the style or the brand of the windows. But I'm very familiar with them. Just can't recall the name of them. But everything in here is precision.
Alright everyone, once again, welcome to Vail, Colorado. We have a very special tour ahead of us. Over 15,000 square feet of interior space, minutes away from the heart of Vail, and with a price tag of $78 million, this property is certainly a statement. And we'll talk more about that price later in the video. Now, the home itself consists of 6 levels, and the way this home is designed and built is actually very unique. Think about it like a spiral staircase that is attached to the hillside. As it goes up to the very top floor, it takes advantage of the surrounding landscape and the slope of the land extremely well. It has many outdoor patios, balconies that connect the interior spaces to the outdoors and also provide tremendous privacy to these interior spaces as well. And in fact, once we get up to those levels, you will see the incredible views you get from this property. Now, I also want to talk about the exterior look of this home. We have limestone that provides a ton of character and warmth, and it really grounds the property, and it is also complemented with this copper finish throughout the home. It creates a nice dimension, contrast, and when you look at the exterior qualities of this home, this is where the tour gets very interesting. This home has 2 heated driveways, 2 entries, and 2 two-car garages. Look.
Yeah, right away. 2 things here. The use of materials is excellent here. This is in a mountain setting. You don't want to see a white box like you would find in like Miami or LA. It would look totally out of place. This does a great job of blending into the environment. You have the earth tones, and I think from what I've seen, I think you see that's going to be a theme, and it's an important thing that this house is true to its environment. So that means someone just didn't come from some place, and brought their usual, design, style or taste, and carried them over to Vail. This is something that someone local had they were either local or they were someone who is very intentional about the structure blending into the environment. The other thing that I see him call out as well is that he said there are two of everything. And I think we've already seen, or even, you can kind of guess that. I can't remember if we've already said how big the house is, but if you look at it, it's pretty substantial. Kind of hard to tell because it actually does blend into the environment well. It hides its size. But what I can tell you that if there are 2 of anything, this house likely started as multiples, or it was designed to be. When I say multiples, maybe like either 2 separate units or multiple separate units that were combined. This is an unusual layout for a garage, and even for a house in general to have to have a multiple car garage is not unusual. The orientation is what makes it unusual, which lends to the fact that or to the possibility rather, that it could have been multiple homes that were combined. Much like if you have a condo building and you have multiple units on different floors or even adjacent, that owners will buy and connect them. So that's what this is given the feel like it was multiple units that were combined for one massive unit, which is fine because that speaks to the theme of doing something that no one else can do, and you end up with a humongous piece of property that presumably would be more desirable than the parts. The whole being more important or more desirable than if they were separate pieces.
lot of twos, and also given the square footage of this home, it is nice to have all of these amenities. Now lastly, it is snowing today. The scenery here is so peaceful, so beautiful, and Vail is so charming. I'm excited for all of you to experience Vail through the eyes of this property. And in fact, now, let's go inside.
Now, Vail, I think they referenced it earlier, having a residence or permanent residence somewhere in the thousands. So this place isn't a big place. I can't remember the actual the square mile, the area in general. But this is another thing. This is why it's likely an inexpensive home, because it's not very big, for one. And someone that wants to make a statement here, someone would likely want to make a statement rather by having a very big house in a small town. So you basically become the big fish in a small pond, so to speak. Not really saying that's exactly what it is, but you definitely would call attention to yourself if everyone else is living in the park in like a condominium type thing or townhouse or whatever the traditional structure is in Vail, and you have this particular thing here, which is a massive or appears to be a massive piece of property. You definitely make a statement, and that's what someone who spent $78 million wants to make. That's what they want to make, a statement.
Everything about this home seems designed for comfort and sharing experiences. The first floor is your connection to outdoor activities. The place to get ready for skiing, mountain biking, hiking the trails. It's the transition from recreation to the details of the home's decor.
So far we're saying now that there's a theme of the palette. We still are seeing the earth tones. We're seeing with the slight metallic luxury type of color palettes that I've mentioned before in previous videos. This one does the same thing. We don't see anything that's jarring or anything that looks kind of out of place. There's a harmony. There's a harmony between the inside and the outside. This is good execution here.
As soon as you step inside, you immediately see and feel the soothing tones and textures of this property.
All right away. This door, this big opening, I would have preferred this. We're going to have a lot of tones, a lot of materials. I would have preferred to have seen some glass here at this level. A very nice pivot door. It looks like this is about maybe 6 or 7 feet across. That would have been a very nice touch to contrast, yet still be in tune with the aesthetic of the house to have a pivot door. Not really a fan of this door.
Natural stone floors, Venetian plaster walls, oak panel ceiling with mood lighting, and then we have this gorgeous chandelier here warming up the space, and behind that we have this beautiful walnut paneling that we're going to see throughout the home. But before we leave the entry, I also want to point out the fact that
let me point out something here. I think this is a pretty neat feature. I would imagine that this was designed specifically for this house. This console or entry table was designed specifically for this house. I say that because look how it fits in between the panel separation here. This is a great touch. This is a great attention to detail. Hopefully, this is a sign of things to come. Now, in keeping with that, this looks kind of not in harmony with this room. I would have preferred them to have maybe done something to kind of continue this the dimensions or the placement in between this, because they've already established this room. Your eyes go right here, but then when you go up here, this seems to be kind of, they made this an opening, just not aligned with this section here. I think if they wanted to have a wider opening, maybe they could have expand this all the way across here and have the separation for the lighting in some way or another. But this kind of falls outside of that symmetry that they were trying to create right here and right here,
that we're going to see throughout the home. But before we leave the entry, I also want to point out the fact that the door design here is super cool. It has that mid-century feel, all these glass sections, and they also brought the same copper detail from the exterior to the interior as well. I had to point this out. Now,
Now, this is interesting. This is really good attention to detail from an execution perspective. Let me go back. Look at here. Look here. I just noticed something else too. Well, at first I was going to speak on the fact that they put door hinges in the sections where the wood is. So that's very good alignment. That's a very good attention to detail. A lot of people may not have in lesser expensive houses, much lesser expensive houses. This detail of having them aligned on this same plane would not be a thought. Now, what I would have done, and I know why this happens because temperatures change and the doors change. This little pin here for the hinge is popped out a little bit.
detail from the exterior.
Uh-oh. What I would have done is to before we started filming is to pop that down a little bit. But let's keep going.
All these glass sections, and they also brought the same copper detail from the exterior to the interior as well. I had to point this out. Now, the first space we're going to check out is to my left, and it is the 2-car garage. Not
All right. Now, this is a pet peeve of mine when garages are used for anything else other than a garage. That tells me that this house is being used not as it's intended. Maybe I think they are probably using it as a humongous Airbnb where where you maximize the amount of people. Well, that's that's the impression that it gives. I'm not saying that could be the case, but this is a humongous house. Why do we have to put seating and things down here? These are for cars. It just gives an impression of a house that's not as sophisticated as the $78 million price tag is supposed to evoke. I don't mind the TV and using it as a weight room or that sort of thing, but take the furniture out and let's showcase that it actually can do what it's supposed to do. Is hold cars.
only is very spacious, it is also designed like a little lounge. In fact, they have a seating area here, some of their skis, winter gear, and on the corner we have this built-in desk area with this gorgeous live edge, and they have the same live edge on the upper shelf here that's
Beautiful, just doesn't belong in the garage.
open, and above that you can see all the built-ins. Really nice corner for you to utilize, and it's just a really cool space. Now let's go back to the entry and go to the other side, and this is actually a very cool space. We have a kitchenette here, modern cabinets, onyx countertop, fabricated sink, and they also have the same onyx as a backsplash that's also backlit, which is really nice. Your TV, and this is a really nice kitchenette. Some refrigerator drawers. They even have a dishwasher drawer as well, which is a nice touch. And let's not forget the espresso machine.
Now that's a cool touch when you're entering your home through the garage. Before you even get started, before you get on your way to tackling whatever the house is, that the issues that you may face when coming to the house, or just getting kind of set up to relax, you're greeted with the coffee machine. You can make your cup of espresso, or you can get a beverage to kind of wind down. Great touch.
Now, let's go to the left. We have the locker closet here, spacious, and beyond that, these cabinets do a great job hiding all of the ski gear. In fact, let me open up this one here that is currently empty, so you can see the built-in structure here, the hanger, open shelving, your glow heaters, and then you have your shoe heaters here to warm up all of your ski gear. In fact, I want to show another closet here
That's a nice feature. I wish you had given it just a little bit more attention. We are in Colorado. To mention I've never seen a glove heater or a shoe heater kind of integrated into a closet. That's an impressive feature. It's a very small detail, but it's great functionality that should definitely be highlighted. I don't know if any other place within the home has these things. I would have expected it in the garage, but I guess this is fine. I guess I would not want to ruin the expensive cabinetry That German cabinetry is not. I'm telling you, that is. It does not come cheap. I wouldn't want my snow to be melting inside of this wood paneling. Great idea, not the right placement. It's supposed to be in the garage.
Ski gear. In fact, I want to show another closet here that is currently filled with ski gear. And there you go. This is how it looks. And also, if you want, you can tuck the doors into the cabinetry as well. How cool is this, Dal?
That's amazing. I've been in some ski mountains before and never seen it that organized.
This is a pretty high-end one for sure. It's very nice. Now, there's also another cool detail here on this side that I want to quickly talk about. This is a custom 3D topographical map of Rocky Mountain region that is surrounding Vail. So you can see all the roads, the mountaintops, and I just love this 3D dimension of it. It's a really cool piece, and I think appropriately positioned in the lock.
Cool, cool, cool. I don't know if I care or if the person who's already living within those peaks or mountains would care. I don't see the detail. I don't see. It looks like it almost looks like a balled up piece of paper that was like balled up and then unfolded, hung on the wall. And not really sure what this is behind him, but I would have loved for it. Let's go back here.
Of it. It's a really cool piece.
Right here. Don't know what that is, but at $78 million, I should not be seeing a contrast, right? It looks like it may be a vent of some sort. Somebody needs to address this in the $78 million house.
And I think appropriately positioned in the locker room. Now, follow me this way. Let's continue our tour. We got more spaces to see. There's a powder bathroom to my right, and then over here we have the staircase taking up to the second floor.
That's very cool. Don't know if you can see this right away, but this is it appears to be, I don't know what that is. It looks like this may fold out, but it may not. I don't care if it does or it doesn't. This is a great detail. This takes the place of a handle that would protrude from this wall. That's very common. It's very typical how builders would build it, just because it's easy to do, just to kind of stick on after you've built this stairwell. You have to think about this. This is about 4 inches inset into the wall, and so you have to build out the wall 4 inches back from where you would have originally wanted it, so you can accommodate the handrail. And it's lit. It's got the recessed LED behind it, but this is an amazing touch. It's a very small thing, and you wouldn't even think about it just because it's utilitarian. But this level of execution this is great.
And another thing that I want to mention is the fact that this home comes with 2 elevators. We have the first one here, second one around the corner. Another detail that we're going to...
The other thing too that I just noticed, if you look here, look at the
elevators. We have the first one here.
Look at the reveal. This is not easy to accommodate. What you see here takes precision. It takes someone who cares about a builder, who cares about making sure your home is executed at the highest level. Typically what people do, and no offense if you have this in your home, what people will do is they'll build the opening, finish it out, and then put trim around it so that you don't see any imperfections. You don't see the all the crazy shapes that that drywall may have. Well, this is plaster, so that's different. It has to be a little bit more precise. But trim work is typically used to hide. It used to be where trim work would accentuate. It was an additional detail that accentuated the space you're in. Oftentimes, people use it to hide imperfections. When you do this, you can't hide. So, great job.
Second one around the corner. Another detail that we're going to constantly see throughout the home are these really cool doors that inset into the walls, but when you want to create some separation between spaces, you can simply utilize them. And they are a heavy-duty approach to interior doors. Instead of having regular doors, you have these that blend into the walls as well.
Now, that's pretty awesome. Typically, what people would have done in a situation like that is to just create a pocket door. Pocket doors, though, are sometimes I would say they may not give that feel of luxury. As you know, they work great in applications. People have used pocket doors for a long time, and they certainly are battle tested time and time and again. This is a detail. This is done just for detail's sake. This is just to say, hey, I have a door that can fold into a wall. You've never seen that before. You have pocket doors in your house. I have something that's actually a wall. I mean, just to make it simple, this is a wall that turns into a door. Let's look at it again.
It's just a nice regular doors. Heavy duty approach spaces, you can simply utilize them, and they are a heavy duty approach to interior doors. Instead of having regular doors, you have these that blend into the walls as well. It's just a nice architectural detail that provides a ton of utility. Now, this is the second entry of the property. We have the second front door here. Roughly the same finishes, another crystal light fixture above. The mood lighting, Venetian plaster, they play well with each other, and it just has a very cozy feeling to it. And then to my right, we have a utility room with a washer and dryer, your second elevator.
Let me show you something else. So let's just go back. This is amazing. Well, actually, two things here. I see one thing that's great, and I see one thing that's not great. Can you guess the thing that's not great? We'll talk about it in a second. The thing that's great is that we talk about precision. This house has a lot of precision, a lot of preciseness. I like even the walls. The plaster finish walls are beautiful. I don't see a texture that is not aligned well. I mean, there are no raised or indentations in the surface. Even going into this corner, this is an incredibly difficult thing to do, to have this reveal or this offset from the wall. This looks like it could be 3/4 inch or to an inch from the wall. And the only reason it exists is so that the cabinet doors, I believe, they open this way from right to left, and you can't have to open it fully. You have to have this small reveal right here, but it's uniform from the top to the bottom. This will be the same thing when you look at cars and they have the seams or the panel gaps. This is a panel gap for all intents and purposes. Just the same way as these are right here. This is a great detail. Again, very difficult to execute to a high degree. All right, that's the good thing. The bad thing is right here. This skylight, or it looks to be a skylight. Not 100% sure. It could just be just the way it's designed, but it could be just some additional lighting. They should have stopped it right here. My eye wants to go up here, but instead it goes up and then over to the left a little bit. It's not aligned well, or it's out of alignment. It should have been aligned with this line here. These are small things, but they are big things to the person who's going to buy them, who's going to spend $78 million. The other thing I see, this looks like this is a stop for this cabinet. Maybe this cabinet right here opens up. I'm hoping that's what this is. This little looks like to be like a bumper, like some sort of a bump stop or some sort of a stop to keep this door from smacking this wall. That's what I think it is. Not 100% sure. If it's not, bad. If it's good, if what I'm thinking it's for is actually what it is, then good.
Right, we have a utility room with a washer and dryer, your second elevator, your second powder room, and this door here opens up to the other 2-car garage where you can store your cars, ski gear, paddle boards, you name it. You can do a lot with it. Now, I wanted to start our tour with the first floor because this is how you create the separation between the exterior and the interior of the property. You take out your jacket, your snowy shoes, and you cozy yourself up, get in the elevator, and go up all the way to the 5th floor where we have the main common spaces. This level is clearly the social hub. It has open views, the main outdoor seating areas, and many spaces where people can lounge and decompress. It's really the heartbeat of the home and a welcoming space. This floor is full of unique details, finishes, and features. In fact, I want to start with the staircase here that takes you up to the very top floor. It's a beautiful staircase framed with wood, stainless steel railing, 2 skylights above, and it leads you to the 2 guest suites that we have on the very top floor.
Now, I don't hate this. I don't love it though. This is an afterthought or a compromise. They really wanted the crystal step continuity to go up to the steps. Not really sure why. Not a bad detail. I don't know if I would have done it all the way up. But just like we did the built-in inset stair rail on the lower level, I think they should have continued that here. This looks like not custom. This just looks like something off the shelf. I don't want my house to look like it's off the shelf if it's at $78 million.
Railing, 2 skylights above, and it leads you to the 2 guest suites that we have on the very top floor. But what I really like about this moment is the fact that we have these crystals that are illuminated, just warming up the space and setting that positive Zen tone as you go up to the very top level.
Now, this is now seeing that they included it, these crystal landings or whatever. Pretty good. Look at the separation here in between. Now, what they could have done, which I'm glad they didn't, they just could have they could have cut the wood off here and just had, like you would have had a separate piece of wood here, and then you had that seam in the middle. This is well, I think I spoke too soon. You have it right here too, but you can't really see it that well. So I think it still looks good. You see the reveal here on the horizontal side, but not on the vertical side. So I think they did a very, very good job of making this appear like it's a solid piece, like they did a precise cut from here and then did it all the way down. But it looks like they may have this may be a separate piece because the grains don't continue from here to there. Maybe this is a small detail, but I'm okay. I'm okay with it. This is a nice touch.
Also, another unique feature on this floor is the fact that we have the 3rd entry to this property.
Bad doors. That's 3 bad doors. Now, it's bad enough that it was 1 bad door that could have been a glass pivot door. And then they showed us, I think it was a total of 2 downstairs, which again, it goes back to what I mentioned about this possibly had been multiple units at one point, multiple living spaces, separate living spaces at one point, all these different external doors. In keeping the doors, the door openings or whatever, I would have preferred them to, again, have a glass pivot door. We have a lot of wood. We have a lot of stone. Having a glass pivot door would have been an excellent touch to provide that contrast. That still is in keeping with the theme of the home.
So far, you've seen the 2 front doors that are located on the ground level.
Look at that, 2 front doors. Someone in the comments, please tell me I am wrong in thinking that this was multiple units combined in one. I didn't see this before, where the doors were oriented just this close to each other. There's no way you would normally build a single family residence with 2 doors on the same plane within 20 feet of each other. Please let me know if this was designed this way originally as for one house, or if it indeed is 2 houses or multiple houses that were combined into one. Let me know, please.
But on the 5th level, due to the elevation difference, it actually opens up to the street that is located behind the property, so you can actually come directly to the 5th level as well. Now I'm going to go this way so we can showcase some of the spaces on this floor. There's a really nice seating area here with a wooden countertop, bar seating, and there's also a very nice bar that's located right behind me. On the face value, this may seem like a little built-in section, but there's actually a bar here. This is all bolt-up cabinetry, which I'm going to extensively talk about in a second, but that's where we have the sink.
I hope this isn't a product placement type of thing. It's kind of hard to say that. Maybe because they were going to highlight this home, that maybe they went ahead and contacted Bulltop to say, "Hey, we're going to do a video that showcases your cabinetry. You want to be in. You want to, you want to throw us something our way to, kind of play it up a little bit." I don't think it needs a separate call out outside of, just to, explain the continuity from floor to floor. But I hope this isn't product placement. These are beautiful cabinets. They speak for themselves. Don't need any particular call outs, but great touch, great cabinets. I really appreciate it.
This is where we have all the spirits, and you have all your accessories and cutlery down below, so you can serve your guests and interact with the entire floor, which is very...
Oh, let me call out something else too. That's really interesting. You don't see that this often. I think these are hideaway cabinetry. Can't really see. The hinges are obscured here. I see something here. I don't know if maybe this is the bottom cabinet right here, and these are the slide into. Okay, I think that explains it. This is a nice detail. A lot of houses, or I'm sorry, a lot of cabinetry. You have the hinges in the way, just like you have it right here. They would have the hinges obscured, which doesn't don't take away a whole lot visually and even functionally. But they have the shelving kind of set back a little. These are pretty deep. They look to be deeper than 24 inches, which a lot of cabinetry generally comes in because just to fit typical kitchens. So this is atypical. But pretty cool detail that they are deep cabinets, and also again that there's you take away the visual I won't say clutter, but you don't see the hinges obscuring your view. This is a great level of execution that you wouldn't normally see, and I mean even in some multiple $1 million homes, you have kind of standard type of cabinet construction. This is on a different level.
So you can serve your guests and interact with the entire floor, which is very exciting. Now I'm going to close these doors and take you to my favorite section of this level, which is this grand living room. To my favorite.
I saw one thing. I hope this isn't what I think it is. This looks like to be one of those pop-up outlets. I wish if that's in fact what it is, I would have preferred them to recess this into the surface where it pops up. I'm sorry, it's exactly what it does. Maybe for the video, pop it down so it didn't look like it was an afterthought. I think there are other ways to do this too. I think you could, even maybe, not sure what the code is in Vail, Colorado, but maybe they could have obscured it inside of a drawer or something like that. But this is, I don't want to see this in a $78 million house showing. This looks like something that anybody can do.
Section of this level, which is this grand living room. Take it all in. Vaulted ceilings with exposed steel rafters and beams. 4 skylights bringing natural light. And then we have this European oak paneling throughout, bringing additional warmth.
Let me show you what this is. These are I-beams that they turned into something that looks less utilitarian. Actually, it's a pretty excellent and elegant solution that people typically wouldn't do. They would get maybe like timbers or something like that, but because we already have a lot of wood, they brought in some metal. And again, these are stock, run-of-the-mill, they're probably 10-foot I-beams. This is excellent. I like that they took something that has an industrial feel and made it into something that was really nice and really beautiful.
With mood lighting, and if all that wasn't enough, we have these massive sliding glass doors opening up the interior to the exterior and to these breathtaking vistas. This is an incredible space, and I want to cover more details. But before we do that, let's get the specs out of the way. We have 11 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, 15,086 square feet of
Oh, did you see it?
we have 11
Look at that. This is that. This is wool. This is not wallpaper. This is not plaster, which I'm going up in expensive scale. So let's go back. This isn't paint. This isn't wallpaper. This isn't plaster. This is the wool. I'm surprised he didn't mention it, but this is pretty. This would make me feel warm and fuzzy and cozy in contrast to what the outside environment is. This is pretty cool.
bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, 15,086 square feet of interior space, listed for $78 million. And I want to give big thanks to Ty Stockton for giving us the opportunity, the honor to showcase his listing. And through him, I got a chance to learn more about Vail, understand the
Wait, let's see it again. How big was this house? Well, the lot's 23,000 square feet, but the house is 15,000 square feet. Okay.
dollars. And I want to give big thanks to Ty Stockton for giving us the opportunity, the honor to showcase his listing. And through him, I got a chance to learn more about Vail, understand this quaint ski town, and I'm just really excited to share it with all of you. Now, Dal, why don't we turn this way so we can focus on this cozy seating area? 2 blue couches, massive solid wood coffee table, all these pillows for pop of color, and the attention to detail in this room is what I really enjoy and admire. Look at the built-ins behind me with all the accessories, sculptures, books, the intentionality in this room, and the way they built these built-ins are actually very unique. So you have your solid wood cabinetry, but every once in a while they left the back section exposed so you can actually see the oak paneling. It just gives additional dimension, and every time they left the back section exposed, they also inlay these metal sections. So when you look at it as a whole, it is a really cool design element.
These are all really the colors of nature, in different shades and textures. And so, the difference between spending a day outside and taking in all that nature and walking in the house and having it assembled or curated in such a way that makes the home feel, again, relaxed and comfortable and cozy. Those materials create, in my mind, it's a familiarity that the texture really brings out, and it really allows you to sit in the home in a way and take it all in that it just works.
Now we also have a gas fireplace here to cozy up the room, and let's face it, when you have a living room like this and these kind of views, fireplace ties it all together.
What do you think about a gas fireplace? I started to mention this before I knew this was a gas fireplace, just from first looking at it. Do you think it adds or do you think it takes away from this house because it has a gas fireplace? Now, hear me out. There's something that gas fireplaces are. They definitely have a place depending on where you are. But this is one of those conversations where do you like a gas grill versus a charcoal grill? A fire where you have to, you start your fire or you grill over fire and not over a gas grill when you're barbecuing. Most people want to barbecue over fire, over wood burning, wood smoking, not in a gas grill. And this kind of does the same thing for me in this house, not in general. I have a gas fireplace. I've had gas grills. I totally understand the convenience. But in a setting like this, would a wood burning fireplace have been more appropriate? Let me know.
And above that is actually a really cool art piece, but this art piece actually has a little function. Check this out.
One other thing to point out too, I like how the miters are happening right here. They're kind of angled. The stone is angling into the fireplace. This is a good touch. Whether it's a gas fireplace or wood burning fireplace, the inset piece is executed very nicely. Most people would have done flat, uh, just a flat stone, just because it's easy to do. This is harder to do, especially when you have stone.
What a great way to hide your TV. Bring some color, some art into the space, but still have your TV. I love this.
That's amazing. Yeah, really adds an elegant tone to the room.
Exactly. This is such an elegant touch, and they have more unique TV placements like this throughout the property. I want it to go all the way up. There you go. That's your TV. It's amazing. All right, now, why don't we go backwards for a second? I also really like how these sliding glass doors, or each one of the sections, are wood cased. It plays into this wood tone and the warmth of the room. And we also have clear story windows above, bringing additional natural light, and it just opens up the top section of the room and just makes the space feel a little bit more free.
It came to me now. Those windows that we saw in the kitchen, they match the same kind of windows that are throughout the house. You see, and they're distinctive because of this handle right here. I believe these are Unilux windows, which is, I believe, a German brand. So everything in this house is precision. And those windows, those doors too, are known for precision. They're extremely heavy. They're extremely precise. They have to be extremely precise in their installation. And the reward for that is, these doors will not stick or get off track, or I mean, they will operate like with preciseness. You can almost open them with one hand, slide them across from one side to the next with one hand, with a finger. That's just how precise, just how excellent in execution they operate.
Now, next up, another elegant seating area. I love this couch. Then we have these stone coffee tables. Yes, even though they look like tree trunks, these are actually stone. And then we have this elegant bench here. The craftsmanship of this bench, the leather wrapping, the stitching, it's like...
Did you see that? Let's go back. Just a little
here.
bit.
The craftsman...
I know why they have this here. This is to keep the snow from being tracked into your house from outside and fall into the AC, the ventilation grill vent right here. I would have liked for them to have made a custom rug that goes from here to at least cross one panel, one pane, so that you have more surface area to wipe your feet. But this is just tacky. I would not have done this. This is likely I'm hoping this is just temporary. Maybe the Enos and his camera crew and the production crew may have came in and added this. But if this is something that the homeowner has done, we've been talking precision for a while. This is not precise. You get a custom rug, a custom thick mat, and just string it or lay it where it fits within the confines of this space right here. It doesn't impede the airflow, but it still is functional for what you need to do. This is poor.
Craftsmanship of this bench, the leather wrapping, the stitching, it's like an exquisite piece from Hermes. I just think it's a fun touch. And then we have more crystal light fixtures here. Crystals are great for decoration. They also have healing qualities. So it is a nice element that you can incorporate throughout your home. And in fact, I believe there are crystals on every single level of this property.
All right, who's tired of crystals? I mean, it was okay when you walked inside and you had the chandelier, not one chandelier, but two chandeliers. They're circular chandeliers with crystals. Then we got crystals on the bookshelf. Then we got crystals going up the stairwell. Now we got crystals up here as well. Okay, let's stop with the crystals.
I'll do my best to cover them and showcase them. Now, before we go outside, I want to actually take everybody this way so we can tour the rest of this floor. To my left, we have the elevator landing and a door that opens up to the wraparound patio. Formal dining area here, but first, why don't we talk about this kitchen? Its design elements, functions, features. There are so many details here that
Now, this is interesting. This is kitchen number 2. We saw the first. Was the kitchen on the first floor? Or did they just come back around to this? I can't remember. We do have multiple kitchens, right? If so, if they've done this me hear some more. Maybe this is the same kitchen. I don't know.
When I cover, I think it looks very elegant, sleek, and it also has every functionality you can think of. First off, we have a stone island that's right in the center with bar seating, anchoring the space, and there's also a sink here with a faucet for clean drinking water and hot water. And then to my right, we have the pantry space, door that opens up to the back section of the patio where we have the outdoor barbecue and the rest of your cabinets. Now, before I talk about the bolt-up kitchen here, I want to talk about the views. Look at our surroundings, and this is the experience you get from your kitchen. And if that wasn't good enough, these are actually sliding glass windows, so they can actually connect the interior to the exterior.
Awesome. Just going back to the windows again. These match the doors as well. These are expensive windows, people. Very expensive. These two, just the kitchen windows alone, would probably be. I would imagine that. I bet you the number is probably somewhere between, just for these windows alone. Gosh, I don't know. I would bet somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 just for these. Not anywhere in the house. Not anywhere else in the house. Just these.
Here, the extended bar. That's why we have bar seating on the other side. And what a great way to prepare your meal and enjoy the outdoors. This is amazing. I love this detail. Now, next up, let's talk about Bulltop Cabinetry. Bulltop is a brand from Germany, established in 1941, and they're known for their solid cabinets and their hardware. In fact, I want to show this drawer here for a second, how easy it is to pull the entire thing out, and it makes such a good use of the space. Also, Doc, can we get a close up? Their doors are always very thin frame. They use stainless steel, aluminum. They always use very high quality materials, and that's why their kitchens are so durable. Now, beyond Bulltop, they have Gaggenau and Miele appliances, oven, induction, gas cooktop, and I believe that, let's get a close up, knock knock dishwasher, which is something I have to showcase every time we tour a home. I've been knocking these dishwashers for the last 5 years. Also, how sleek is this faucet, by the way? Super contemporary. Now, next up, we have refrigerator drawers. These come in very handy. It's easy for you to just grab your drink, close it off, and there's also an ice maker here. Now, the rest of the kitchen, we have a microwave, espresso maker, and freezer is on this side. This kitchen has a very sleek and minimalist design, and check this out.
I think it was a Sub-Zero refrigerator. It looks like it. I don't care that it's not a Miele or a something else that I think something else that would be in line with the German appliance package. Sub-Zero is a great. I mean, here's the thing. You want to get something that it's excellent at what it does, and it would be hard. You would be hard pressed to find a refrigerator that refrigerates as good as Sub-Zero. That's just an opinion of mine. I just wanted to call out the contrast because it has the everything under the Bosch brand everywhere else in the kitchen. The microwave, the espresso maker, the dishwasher, the oven, and the cooktop, but they switched up right here.
Freezer is on this side. This kitchen has a very sleek and minimalist design, and check this out. Almost every single floor of this one, except the very top level, features a kitchen, which is crazy, and they're all Bulltop. Now I want to take a quick break from the tour and thank UBG for sponsoring today's video. As you know, traveling is a huge part of our business, and we're constantly on the go, which means
Let's skip this.
Now, next up, let's talk about the formal dining room. Stone table that can be extended, leather wrapped chairs, this multi-dimensional chandelier, wood paneled ceiling, and in fact, even your speakers are nicely blended into the ceiling design. And what I like about this space is the fact that you can open up the sliding glass doors here and the other side, enjoy the cross breeze, especially during summer, and enjoy the views, dine with your friends and family, and really enjoy the space. Now, Dal,
What do we think about the light fixture here? Um, I kind of dig it if you look at it. It's got the chain kind of motif right here that kind of matches the chain right here. If this is my formal dining room, I think I want something a little bit more ornate. I mean, not ornate. Something that's a little bit sleeker. I like this, just not right here.
I'm going to ask you to step backwards for a second because this is such an easy detail that you can overlook. There's a wine cellar here. And if you think this is the coolest
A closet. That's a closet, a wine closet. It's right underneath the stairs. They just took negative space and turned it into something.
wine cellar in this house, you're wrong. We have another one that is so impressive, and we're going to see that in a second. But I just thought they did such a great job concealing it behind this door.
Oh, wait. Now, I'm going to say, I know what this is for. This is so the room can be temperature controlled. It should have been on the wall. I would have preferred them lose a shelf right here to slide this over and mount it on the wall, or orient it where it's on the wall. It'd be blowing this way instead of towards you, so that I don't see this when I open the closet. Unacceptable in a $78 million house.
A second, but I just thought they did such a great job concealing it behind this door, and you have it right next to your formal dining room. Now, next up, we have another cozy seating area. Again, a lot of these pocket doors, concealed doors to close off sections and create private moments. And this is just another cozy space, built-ins, and then we have the TV on the other side. Now, I want to take my time to talk about the coverings on the cabinetry here. This is called sugarine. It's either a stingray or shark skin that has been processed to create this really unique texture. And they have it throughout the home. And in fact, a lot of the vanities are inlaid or covered with this material. So I wanted to point it out. Now you will see it throughout the home. Now, Dal, follow me this way.
That's a great way of keeping the design language the same, but using different materials and different finishes to convey the same language. I think this is excellent. I don't know if I like shagreen for myself, but when you have too much of something, like there is a such thing as having too much Botox. There is a such thing as having too much wood or too much metallic or too much this or too much that. This is a great execution of differentiation, yet being in the same design language. I even appreciate this panel here. I've called out in other videos where this could be just like an electrical access panel or something like that, where you can't, it's hard. You can't do anything with it but build around it. This almost disappears into the wall. So this is a great execution. I've seen them poorly executed in other videos that I've made in some other really expensive houses, but this is great.
Another detail I want to point out, these walnut shutters are so elegant and so sturdy. And then to my left, we have a full bathroom. Now, when it comes to the finishes and design elements in this house, most of the bathrooms are pretty similar. You have Venetian plaster on the walls, skylight in this case, and then either onyx or natural stone countertops. The same sugarine finish is also here. And then you have the spacious walk-in shower with chrome fixtures and this awesome window that looks at the side of the property where you can see the snow, the trees. This bathroom has a cool ambiance. Now, let's walk backwards. I'm going to actually take you guys back to the staircase, to the fifth floor entry, and then on the other side, we have another full bathroom. The design of this bathroom is really unique. This multi-dimensional
All right. I'm going to go back a little bit, but since we stopped right here, this is pretty good. I don't know if this was created by multiple pieces, or this is kind of like a stock panel or something like that they've one panel, two panel, three panel. I don't know if that's the case. If this was custom made, this is a great touch. This is a great touch to add texture in a way that is hard to reproduce. You would only see something like this in a house like this. If I'm assuming this is not off the shelf. This is a level of detail that you want your $78 million house to have. We've already done the wool. We've already done the plaster. Um, what you want to do is to, and stone. We've already done the stone. This is a great detail. The only thing is in the bathroom, so it's gonna have some movement due to the humidity. I would have loved to have seen this somewhere else in the house that wasn't exposed to humidity, because it can change. It can change how it looks, how it blends together. It may not, because this house may not be used. Like most people would use. I mean, to the extent rather that people would use a house. This bathroom may never get used, so this will likely stay like this. The only other thing too is that you have to have a certain kind of brush to keep the dust out of these things. But this is beautiful.
Tile back wall, mood lighting, Venetian plaster, and then we have this limestone carved and chiseled vanity here, which is really the focal point of this bathroom. Your standalone faucet, glass enclosed walk-in shower, and a toilet. Now, if you're wondering why there is a walk-in shower here, because this door opens up to the patio. This is what.
Oh, forgive me. I meant to give this some attention. I'm okay with this door being here. This door is fine right here. I like the design here. As an entry door, I do not. But this works very well here.
Why there is a walk-in shower here, because this door opens up to the patio. This is one of the many outdoor spaces and patios that we have on this property, but given our elevation, this might be the coolest one. Now, to my right, we have a massive jetted jacuzzi, cased in.
That is massive. You don't initially see it when he's walking out, but he's walking on the ledge. Just to give you just an idea, that's almost like a small pool. Let's go back.
That we have on this property, but given our elevation, this might be the coolest one. Now, to my right, we have a massive jetted jacuzzi, cased in limestone, and on the back, you can see the water feature with built-in speakers. This jacuzzi also has a cover, and it is steaming right now. Last night we were inside, and you get incredible views, such a cozy space, and what a great way to enjoy the outdoors. Now, the patio itself is heated, and in fact, they have over 7,000 square feet of outdoor space.
Now, this is interesting. Did we see another pool? Yeah, it's another pool right here. So we got a pool right here, and then we had a jacuzzi right here. I like the shape of this. This makes sense. This goes with the lines of the property. This pool over here does not make sense. Now that I look at it, this looks like a boat. Did you see that before? I didn't. I'm just saying this is the front of the boat. That's the back of the boat. This is the captain's area, and this is everything else. This looks like a boat. Someone please tell me in the comments. Was this house supposed to look like it was built like a boat? Or am I crazy? Am I the only one seeing this? Look, follow me. The front of the boat. I can't remember what you call the front of the boat. This looks like the front of the boat. This is the middle of the boat, and this is the back of the boat. And this rises up like a boat. Interesting.
Spaces that are heated like this. That way you can enjoy it year round. Also, we saw those massive sliding glass doors. In fact, now why don't you go backwards? One step you're inside, one step you're outside. I just love this seamless connection to the outdoors. And over here, we have a really cool outdoor seating area. I love this stone fabricated fire pit. It is dimensional, contemporary, and it actually provides a lot of heat. And behind that, we have another art piece or a sculpture, or at least that's what I thought when I saw it for the first time. But turns out it's actually none of those. It hides the 86-inch outdoor TV. I mean, how cool is that? If these views weren't enough and you want to elevate your experience here, you can watch TV.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I've ever had the chance to watch a movie in a jacuzzi, but that sounds like something we should try out tonight.
Actually, that's a good idea. And again, you have the fire pit to warm up the space. I don't know. I just thought this was such a clever touch. Now, why don't we take everybody to the corner so we can talk about the views, our surroundings. I mean, Vail is such a charming ski town. The Gore mountain range is right in front of us. Surrounding peaks, all these homes, charming buildings. It's a lot to take in, and You are minutes away from the village. The center is actually right on this side, and that's one of the important qualities of this property. Beyond the 15,000 square foot that can never be replicated again due to the new or current regulations, you're
Yep. So that explains partially explains the price. You can't build a house like this again in Vail, so you would definitely have a unique asset.
also so close to the heart of the city, and you have a massive single family home.
Yep. There's the boat. I can't unsee it. There's the boat.
And these are very important aspects of this home that play a huge role when it comes to the pricing of this property. But I have to say, this is my third time coming to Vail, and this town has such a strong grounding and relaxing feel, and the nature here is just spectacular.
I moved to Vail 36 years ago from New York City. I've learned that the best way to start your day here is to get out in nature. And I do that every morning, bright and early. I encourage anybody that I meet that comes here that really wants to slow down and really wants to be more intentional with their life and get reconnected. There are tens of thousands of acres that, quite frankly, mankind has not messed up. All you have to do is literally step out your door and put one foot in front of the other, and you are in it.
Now, let's wrap around for a second so we can showcase the other side of the fifth floor patio. We have an outdoor dining area here, another built-in fire pit. This corner is a little bit more cozier, tucked into the home. And then we have the kitchen here. We talked about it earlier. Sliding glass windows, your bar seating area. I mean, a lot of outdoor space for you to enjoy on this level. And we have so much more to see on the levels below. But before we go there, I actually want to take everybody to the very top floor so we can check out one of those guest suites. Going up to the guest suites is a real change in elevation. This house is built into the hillside, so each floor has a different relationship with the landscape and the views. The top floor is the only level without shared social spaces. The guest rooms are isolated from sound, secluded and private, but only a few quick steps down the stairs into the mix. This room exudes coziness, and when I think of a mountain home,
Is this the captain's area? All jokes aside, we're seeing looks like I think this is some more wool on the walls. I can't really tell. The design language has been thoughtfully uh, executed in that they've replicated it to a very high degree. It's very easy to run out of steam from the first floor all the way to the sixth floor. Your eyes get tired of seeing the same things in some places, and people try to do too much in trying to delineate spaces. And then what you have is you have red rooms, white rooms, pink rooms, green stone, red stone. You have all these different things because people their imagination starts going in different directions that are not in concert with the rest of the house. So the fact that they stay very on target, on track with the design language from top to the bottom, that is an excellent execution.
this is the type of room I think of. I really like the vaulted ceilings here that are wood clad, and then you have cashmere wall coverings, king size bed.
I was right. More wool. This is nice. I mean, I'm glad they called it out. I mean, these are unconventional materials that people that I don't know the level of what kind of wool it takes to be able to mount on a wall, and I imagine too that you have to have some expert knowledge to be able to have it on a wall without any wrinkles, without any tears, without any smudges. I mean, this looks like it could be, I mean, it was expertly laid out.
Bedside tables, fireplace, TV, soft carpet floors, and this is the room I'm staying in. Owners have been kind to us and they wanted us to stay at the property so we can understand its essence, how it feels during the day as well as at night, so that we can do our best to showcase that experience, that immersive feeling to all of you. And it's been incredible staying at this room. It is super quiet and insulated, but then you just open up your sliding glass doors, walk to a private balcony, take in the views, the vistas, drink your coffee, and walk right back in to these soft carpet floors. We have built-in closets, and then on the other side, we have the full bathroom. You can see the extensive use of limestone on the floors, as well as the walk-in shower here, but then the countertop here, that's onyx, was also featured in the walk-in shower as a little design element.
I noticed here and in the other bathrooms. Now, this is a critique here. The rest of the house is very sleek, yet minimalist, but still cozy. When you go in the bathrooms, I'm just looking here. Like I don't mind the limestone, this or the whatever this is, the countertop. I love it. I don't mind that it has a kind of looks like a old hotel shape for the vanity. I don't mind that, but I do mind this. Um, I think it would have been welcome to have more imagination in the shower area by having this. Looks like off the shelf. This flooring here looks absolutely off the shelf. It looks like they decided to. This looks like this is something that was already here. Um, it wasn't a part of any renovation that may have happened in recent time to get it to where it was a high degree of execution and skill in other places of the house. This looks like a compromise because people they don't see bathrooms as much as they do like kitchens and stuff like that. So let's just hope that this was intentional and not just you know a workaround.
We have the vanity here with illuminated sink, mood lighting throughout, Venetian plaster certainly warms up the space. And on the back, we have the water closet. But the point of the two guest suites that we have on this level is to create some separation from the rest of the property and create a very intimate moment, intimate setting. And I think this room accomplishes that extremely well. And I've been intimate setting, closet.
Let's ask this: is this overkill? All the bathrooms have the double rolls. It screams commercial to me. I think that the same effect would have happened if you just had one. I mean, this house has 15,000 square feet, so storage is likely not a problem. I don't know if they actually needed to have two rolls here at the same time, and in the other bathrooms. What do you think?
But the point of the two guest suites that we have on this level is to create some separation from the rest of the property and create a very intimate moment, intimate setting. And I think this room accomplishes that extremely well. And I've been really enjoying my time here. Each floor brings its own opportunities. The guest suites are slightly separated up at the top. The fifth floor has big common areas and openness. But as we head down to the third floor, we find something different. The patios are more closely tucked into the hillside. There's plenty of social space, but it also has a range of amenities that might surprise you. Now the third floor of this property is really exciting. We have many different moments, areas, rooms to tour, and like I mentioned earlier, even on this level, you get a full-size, proper kitchen. I mean, look at all the cabinetry that's right behind me. The island setup here, that's stone fabricated. Bar seating down below, that is illuminated. And to my right, we can again see the two-tone cabinetry with bull-top cabinets. And on the upper section, they have this really nice wooden texture, and now let's get a close-up. Look how thin but sturdy these door frames are. These are all solid wood, And down below we have Mila.
Hold up, wait. Not so fast. If you know anything about cabinetry, unless you lived in a house on a prairie where wood is the predominant material at your disposal, you're making your cabinets out of wood. You're making your furniture out of wood. Your bed out of wood. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be out of wood because that's what you have. These cabinets are not solid wood, and I'll tell you why. Contrary to what you may have been told, you may have been misled to believe, wood is very, very fluid depending on the temperature of the home. Meaning, if this was solid wood, those cabinets would never lie flat. They would never lie flat. In wintertime, they be curved one way, and in the spring, they'll be curved another way. And this is for each individual door. So I say that to say that even at $78 million, you will not have a solid wood door. You're going to have a wood veneer. You're going to have an MDF or some type of material that's sandwiched by very nice wood veneer, and that's okay because that's the only way that you can get that flatness, that uniformity. But just be aware that it doesn't matter the price point of the home. You likely will not have solid wood. When I say solid, if you take a saw and cut it down in between, you will not see a solid wood cabinetry. 9 times out of 10, you won't. What you're going to have is you're going to have kind of like plywood. Plywood is considered real wood, but it's a veneer of several layers of thinly sliced wood put together. I don't even think that this is veneer on the cat. Maybe the boxes, maybe it could be plywood, but the doors absolutely are not solid wood. Just want to throw that out there. Now, aside from that, cabinetry is still absolutely beautiful. This kitchen is absolutely beautiful because it matches. It stays in line with the rest of the home. Going back to what I mentioned about a possibility of this being multiple homes, I think he even alluded to the fact that it could have redundancies in a lot of areas. And in here, we see multiple kitchens.